Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Shenandoah Esports broadcast. It's Tuesday night. It's a crisp 8 p.m., and my name's Chase Newcomb. I'm joined tonight by Brennan Moss. Brennan, how you doing?
Doing fantastic on this Wednesday night, Chase.
Wednesday. It's not Tuesday. It's Wednesday. It's been a long week, man. I apologize. Yeah, Wednesday night. My Lord.
It happens. It happens. It's a long week, but it's also an exciting night, not just a long night, because we have our first regular season Tekken action coming in live from the Shenandoah Arena.
On Jaw, as they might say, because we are following our player Jaw as he goes through bracket, hopefully claiming victory from the jaws of defeat.
Ooh, those are some fantastic
I threw a lot at you at the beginning.
I threw a lot. But it's exciting because obviously I was the last person that competed on for Tekken for SU. And so it's exciting to be on the other side of things. I get to commentate Tekken for the first time. I was a Street Fighter commentator, but I'm just really excited. First week of regular season, we haven't had fighting games on in forever on stream. So I'm just happy. Yeah,
I was super pumped coming into today as well, and really honored to be on broadcast introducing Tekken with you this upcoming semester. Previously, I've been a Tekken organizer. I've helped and led Tekken teams before, but I don't play the game all that much. I'm more of an anime fighter myself. I play a lot of DBFZ, play a lot of 2XKO, played some Strive, but I watch quite a bit of Tekken. So I'm really excited. I was stoked coming in today. You explained, yeah, we got this match going on tonight, but he's facing two Dragunovs. And I was like, oh, no. So that's where we're at.
Yeah, I was hoping that usually you're supposed to play three players. We sadly had the other player DQ, and he was going to end up playing Clive. And I was excited for that simply because throw a little bit of spice in. But no, we are going to have a rushdown matchup all the way through.
Yeah, so CFGC, you obviously competed in it before. They changed some things going into this season. Run us through a little bit of what that format looks like.
Okay, so it's still mostly similar because the first few weeks of CFGC are seeding. They're just all straight up seeding. You're playing people way above your skill level. You're playing people way below your skill level just to find out exactly where they need to set you schedule-wise.
Sure.
And these regular season matchups are now a result of the matches that Kenza have been going through the past few weeks.
Yeah, okay, so I think I follow. And at the end of the season, if I understand correctly, there's a big tournament, and then it kind of goes into a double elimination bracket similar to like traditional fighting games.
Yes.
But we're not there yet, right? We're still in the Swiss seeding. You're facing people kind of your own skill level on a week-by-week basis. Cool. And this is week 3, 4?
I believe this is week 4 total, but week 1 of the regular season.
Okay, week 1 of the regular season.
Yes.
So we really are right in the action. And that's so interesting, too, because CFGC starts a little bit later than all of the other leagues. And most other leagues, we're like in week 4 now, but this is right at the beginning of the season. And I actually love that. Taking the time at the beginning of the season, focusing on the season and the seeding, making sure that when you go into bracket, you are seeded properly. Because if there's something that we know about fighting games players, they will riot if their seeding is even 1% off.
They will. They are very, very adamant about it being correct. And I think the interesting thing is, compared to a lot of other collegiate leagues and collegiate esports out there, usually seeding is based off of prior seasons. So it could be a thing where somebody that doesn't normally get seeded that high just catches fire during the weeks of seeding, and they're just playing well, and they get seeded pretty high, and then they have to deal with a lot of players at the skill level that they don't normally have to. And I talked to Ja a little bit before this. His goal going into this season, especially at least week 1, is to not let the seeding matches get to him, because he was mentioning that the last few weeks of seeding, he faced a lot of players that are, God of Destruction area, when he's more so in around the 220,000 power level area of Tekken, of the Tekken rank system, and he didn't win very many matches there towards the end of seeding. So what his goal is going into these matches is just keep his composure, try his best to maintain that baseline emotional
composure.
Composure, yeah. Composure is a very good word for this, but to try and have a good start to the season.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to go into your season with that mentality of, oh, I've already lost all my seeding matches. This doesn't matter. I have a low seed. Mentality certainly seeps its way into a lot of fighting games players' play style, and it can definitely corrupt your season very early if you're not careful or adamant about, getting in early, making sure that you're ready for your match, eating ahead of time. And it was awesome getting in early tonight. We did some chatting before stream started, obviously, but Jaw's been out there practicing for a while now, warming up, getting ready, especially when you're competing online. It's a whole different beast than competing in person. Almost like the opposite of what we see with most other games that are offered in most collegiate esports programs. Valorant, Overwatch, League of Legends. These are games you're normally playing online, and you're competing against other people online. And going to a LAN, it's almost like more nervous jitters. But for fighting games, it's almost the exact opposite. You're used to playing in the LAN environment. You're used to sitting next to someone and giving them crap after your matches, right? So it's really cool to see a fighting games player put that much time into effort into how much they're prepping ahead of time for the game. Shout out Academy Smash, also doing the same thing, ahead of time, getting in, preparing themselves for their matches, playing Smash, while it is the quote-unquote baby fighting game. Shout out to any fighting games players that are watching the stream. They will call it that, right? Two very, very different communities. But how they prep and the work that goes into combos, sitting down practicing, making sure your micro movements are perfect, that is the same skill level or the same attention that you'll see fighting games players put into their craft in games like Tekken, where you have 200 different moves per character.
Yeah, and I think let me touch a little bit on the Wi-Fi versus LAN aspect you were talking about before.
Yeah.
A big difference between, I'm playing on LAN in like an FPS game, or I'm playing online in an FPS game, and then in fighting games is fighting games with bad connection can mean very minute differences that are different every single time. Where it's like, normally, like what fighting game players do, they will go in and practice the same exact combo for 5 hours straight and see how to optimize it, what movement tech they should use while in the combo, just to try and optimize it to like the perfect measure. And with Wi-Fi connection, one little thing could be off that would throw off the entire combo. And being able to make sure that doesn't freak yourself, like you don't freak yourself out because something went wrong, to make sure that you can adapt to it. So like, let's say your connection just isn't great. Okay, let's not go with that option. Let's go with a more safer option. It's a lot different than in other games.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot more variables, and it's so interesting. In esports, there's variables and there's fixed play, right? If I'm playing a league match online and my jungler starts lagging, my jungler can kind of hang out for a couple of minutes and wait until he quits lagging, maybe int in the jungle, get some farm. But in fighting games, it's a 1v1. Like, if you are lagging, you are inherently at the disadvantage, because that means the other person can capitalize. To that same point that you were just mentioning with combos, a lot of fighting game players, when they drop combos, they can internalize that. And so in a game like Tekken, where you have 200 different moves that you can throw in at any particular moment, each has different frame data, the combo possibilities are literally endless. There's so much that you can do. And that's why so many fighting games players maybe start with a Street Fighter or start with a Mortal Kombat. And a lot of them in their end career end up in this game. They end up in Tekken because this is the pinnacle of fighting games. It is so difficult to get so good at this game.
It really is, especially, Tekken's gone through a lot of changes the past few months. The season 2 update came out, people hated it. It was like, if we're being completely honest, people did not like it. They felt that it kind of made, like, the problems with the game they already had were everything was 50-50. At every single point, the amount of 50-50 guesses that a player would have to make to try and counter the other player, just absurd. And season 2 came out, and it made it even worse. And now they're kind of going back on that a little bit. So the most recent patch notes that came out has a lot to do with tracking in the 3D space, because there were a lot of problems with that as well, where a lot of the sidestepping wasn't really great at certain points. It felt like they were taking the 3D out of the 3D.
And that's like the whole thing of Tekken. It is a 2D, 3D fighting game. It's 3D in the sense that you can sidestep, but unlike Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, you can't sidestep in those games. So there is that 3D aspect, which is pivotal when you're engaging and disengaging in this game.
Yeah, and pretty much every character in the game had some sort of update to one of their moves when it comes to tracking or sidestepping. So that'll be an interesting thing to see, especially with a character like Dragunov. We have 2 Dragunovs coming up.
So fun.
Dragunov kind of has poor tracking at points. That's one of his cons. Is his tracking isn't great, but everything else is great for him. He's a great rushdown character. He will keep pressure on you 100% of the time as we go into this match.
I was going to say, you know what's great? We're starting. That's what's great. Yeah, Dragunov also very popular in Tekken 7, was a main staple in the game. Saw it played a lot in EVO, Japan, EVO US 2019, 2020, 2021. So really excited to see how it plays out in Tekken 8 here. Tell me a little bit what we're seeing right now, Moss. What's your initial thoughts going into this game?
So exactly that move that was just done. It seems like this Dragunov is trying to get to any point, trying to confuse Kenza here to get that low grab in and just do a bunch of damage and trying to call it mental stacking. He's trying to mentally stack against Kenza right now. As another low comes in, Kenza coming through with the combo, carries him to the wall and is going to take round 1 in a comeback.
Yeah, that was pretty big. Definitely the Dragunov came out swinging, got the ground and pound down. But my lord, Kenza on this Lars is not dropping these combos. And that's going to be nearly half a health bar, putting him into the corner. That's going to be now Dragunov popping back, trying to use this meter to its fullest extent. Going to get another ground pound down. That's going to be most of Lars' health bar. My lord, that grab does so much. And if you're not teching those grabs, you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah. What Kenza really has to do here is avoid that low grab, because every time that the Dragunov gets that low grab through, ends up getting a whole lot of damage out of it. But now the damage is going the opposite way. Kenza with the wall carry again into the finish of the round to go up 2-0.
Is there any stage switches on this stage, Moss? Are they able to like knock each other? Okay, so it's all surrounded by walls on this one.
Yeah, all surrounded by walls. But round 5 will be, they'll add the added element of like lava everywhere.
Oh,
so the
nice.
wall, you'll like bounce off the wall and come back and you'll be able to continue the combo.
Interesting, okay. Yeah, my lord, keeping up the pressure, waiting and mixing up these options. Lars is doing a great job of remaining patient, seeing where they have the advantage, and that is just knowing frame data in Tekken.
Yeah, so a big thing we saw in that matchup, obviously the game plan from Dragunov was grab.
Yep.
Try to keep Kenza guessing until we could get that grab through, do a bunch of damage, back up, do it again. Now, once we saw Kenza adapt to that mix-up, the stance mix-up from Lars is just too much for the Dragunov to handle at points.
Oh my lord, he was trying to carry him to the other side too. Waiting, you are not safe on block, sir. Gonna use a meter, get him into the corner. Now pushing, oh my gosh. That
right
is
there.
some damage.
Every single time the Dragunov stands up, there is a 50-50 to decide, especially against Lars, where the stance mix-up are the main objective. As you can see here, just trying to guess, when can I press this button? When should I crouch? When should I stand up? And he's having a little bit of trouble winning those guesses.
Yeah, now he certainly is, but if we know anything about Tekken, these reversals can be really fast. And if you're at home, this is your first time watching Tekken, you'll probably notice these rounds are incredibly fast. It is a first to 3 in game, and it is a first to 3 of the series as well. So while Kenza is up 1 in this series, and maybe be up another now, we're gonna get at least 2 on the docket here. This is gonna be huge. If Kenza wins this game, just 1 more in front of them.
Yeah, poor guess right there out of there, crouched into a hit from Dragunov, but going to be able to turn the table. Side switch now. We'll see. This is a big part of Tekken. Are you able to do the same inputs on one side that you can on the other? And a lot of players can't, a lot of players can.
Yeah, being able to mirror your combos is incredibly important in any fighting game. And we're seeing Kenza is making short work of Runny Diaper. What a name. What a name. My lord.
I was going to try to not say it, but...
hey, everyone can see it. I don't know, man. Yeah, Dragunov dragging their heels on that one. Definitely in the next game, which we're going into immediately. I love that we're not going back to lobby. We're just running it straight back. For this third one, this Dragunov is going to have to... be careful what they're safe on, because Lars is doing a great job. Our own Kenza is doing a great job of holding, block, waiting, and then being safe on block. But unfortunately, these grabs are coming through, and Kenza's not ready for him. That's going to be a punish now with Meter. It's going to get blocked, and there's another grab. This might. Ooh, that time
Good
he takes
counter.
it. There we go.
That was a great counter there. Now, you got to have a gigantic hole to come back from, but this combo might be able to drag him out of it. The low keeps coming through.
Ooh.
Now out of heat, but it doesn't matter. Kenza comes back, takes round number 1 here in set 3.
That was a huge reversal, Moss.
That was, like, absolutely huge. And the problem right now is that Runny is just leaning too heavily on the grabs. Doesn't really understand the character matchup that well, and Kenza's using it to his advantage with these stance mix-ups.
Oh my gosh, and now stuck in the corner. That's going to be a break, followed by another back in the corner. That's massive damage. Will they take the next round? Dragunov just rolling out of it, trying to get up, going to use a counter of their own to get out, and that's going to be a sliver of health that's going to go away.
Shortly. Here comes another grab. Does not tech at that time. Gets a decent amount of damage, but now both players have their Rage Art.
Oh no.
But it doesn't matter. The whiff from Kenza is going to lead to a round loss as Dragunov finally takes advantage of a mistake.
I've watched so much Tekken 7. I'm so sorry, but the particle effects in this game are incredible. It looks so nice.
It looks incredible, but also, big problem, kind of clutters the screen up, and especially when you have a character like Lars, who's just spinning around trying to mess with your brain, and then has 50 million options out of that same exact spin animation. Kind of gets a little tough, but it doesn't matter when you try to grab like that. Now, what's going to have to happen here is Dragunov's going to have to slow down a little bit, make sure not to get hit by that Rage Art, or a combo like this.
Ooh.
The pressure just unrelenting here from Kenza, taking about 50% of damage off of that one combo, but it doesn't matter. The mix-up, the 2 punches into the low, going to take another round here, as Dragunov's looking to take the first set of the match for themselves.
Yeah, we're seeing this Dragunov has done a great job up to this point in the set, trying to get these grabs off, but it almost feels like a last chance effort, as Kenza is relentlessly, as we said, not dropping any of these combos. If Kenza gets that one hit, you're getting carried to the side of the stage, but the problem is Kenza's getting a little too aggressive and running straight into these grabs.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed as a player is that it's really tough once you get up, and the jump kick.
That is crazy.
If you get hit by that, you feel embarrassed as a Tekken player. Just straight up. It's tough. But now, here we are. Round 5, set number 3. Both players going back and forth with these strikes. Neither of them not really able to get a combo going just yet.
Yeah, Dragunov fighting for their match right now. If Kenza takes this, this will be game. And it's looking like Kenza's taking this.
Yep. So, really tough there for Runny, but fantastic for Kenza. Now, we do play out the last 2 sets regardless.
Right.
So, there could be a silver lining there for Dragunov. You know, if Runny's able to take a set or 2. But we never really saw Runny's game plan evolve from the grabs.
Right.
Go straight to the grabs. Try to mix them up until you can get to the grab.
Ooh, that's a new move. We've not seen that one yet.
We have not seen that one yet. Lars's big thing is stance mix-ups and also just making you guess. Like, what do you can't really, what do you do in that situation? It's hard to decide. Crouched up,
Ooh.
and you get taken out.
That's a tough time. Yeah, Tekken is so specific with its movements too. If you're blocking, if you're trying to block a right-handed move, you got to block with right. Same with left, same with low left and right. So there are 4 different mix options in the game, which create a lot of different counterplay. But there's not much counterplay to be had if you can't block at all, like we just saw with the perfect there coming out from Kenza.
There was absolutely zero counter. And it feels like after that close matchup, the pressure, a lot of the times the pressure, when you okay, I won the set, I won my 3. Now I kind of feel like I can feel relaxed. And we're seeing it right here. As it goes down 50%, but it doesn't matter. We're now carrying Dragunov to the other side of the stage.
Dragunov's doing the same back to us. That's going to be another low grab, the specialty that we've seen from them. You'd think that they play more of a character that plays a lot more grab heavy. Dragunov isn't really a grab heavy character to my knowledge.
Well, so something I've noticed playing as we watch Kenza take the 4th set as well is that when you feel like you're outmatched in both knowledge and skill level, you will lean on grabs a lot, regardless of character. It doesn't matter if your character has bad grabs, decent grabs, whatever. It doesn't matter about the frame data. You just end up going to the basics. And that's where practicing all the time and getting those instincts comes in. And it's just tough when what you normally do doesn't work.
Yeah, especially if you're now in 4 games in and you've not taken that many rounds like we've seen from Runny Diaper. I can certainly see that was a nice counter. Yeah, that was clean.
That was a counter, especially because earlier in the match we saw him lose a round to it. That time read it, but it doesn't matter. Kenza still takes the round of the first round of the last set.
I certainly think that if Runny Diaper had a little bit more, I said it again, I'm just reading off the prompter, man. But I think if they had a little bit more chutzpah with their combos, they didn't drop the combos, you see that they get a lot of these first hits and immediately end the combo in a grab. If they get these first hits and do a little bit more with it, I think that we would see a lot closer of a series. As I say that though, commentary curse coming through, they're going to get the first perfect of this set.
Yeah, that right there is a momentum shift. If you can keep this going, keep the pressure on. This is what Dragunov is great at. You want to mix them up. You want to rush down. You do not want to give Lars any time to press buttons.
Yeah, he's coming into his own too, and that's sometimes how it works with fighting games, right? There's momentum-based players, and there's players that can just go from 0 to 60. Seems like this Dragunov is a momentum-based player and is starting to hit their stride.
Yeah. Started off somewhat strong, lagged there in the middle, but coming back, Kenza's having a little bit of trouble dealing with the pokes and the pressure from Runny right now.
Ooh, carrying that up, pushing to the corner. Not gonna quite get there, but there it is. That's gonna be a drop, and we're probably gonna see a full string combo here from Kenza.
Yeah, that crouch was a mistake there from Runny, and now you're kind of like, where do I go? Like, I'm backed in the corner, I'm pressing buttons, and I'm getting punished for it. And I am now in a round 5 situation of set 5, trying to take at least one set, looking for a silver lining here in week 1 of CFGC.
Ooh, there's a punch going in. Use that rage art, trying to get in. Gonna push in corner, and like we said, my gosh, there's no correct option, it seems like, for this Dragunov. When they block high, we go low. Kenza doing a great job of keeping up with the pressure, but finding themselves now in the corner. There's only so much that they can block.
And you're not able to block the low as Kenza's going to take all 5 sets there against Runny.
And in great fashion. Love the skin he's using. That's a great costume.
That is a great costume. I wonder if it's X-Men inspired.
It could be. It does look a little like
color,
Beast, right?
Like the color.
Yeah.
At least the color, the colorway. But yeah, great work there from Kenza. Mentioned before, struggled a little bit in the last seeding matches. Wanted to start off strong here, but also didn't want to let anything get to him mentally, and I think he did just that.
Yeah, when you play at the higher level of fighting games as well, sometimes you don't want to show off what combos you have until you get a little later into the bracket. So since we're still in the seeding phase, I wouldn't be surprised if Kenza is just relying more on those B&B combos, the bread and butters, to get the sets that they need to take, remain on top, and then later in the season, we might see him, pull out that sauce.
Yeah, this is a long season. There's a lot of matches. You will see players evolve constantly throughout CFGC. And I thought what we saw tonight from Kenza was fantastic. Once he realized that what the Dragunov's game plan was, going for those grabs, trying to just mix up until he got there, he played a little bit more patient, but knew when to turn on the gas and get going, and it worked out in the end.
Yeah, Runny definitely towards the end of that set seemed like they were starting to put up a little bit more of a fight, but it was a lot more in Kenza's favor, even as they went towards the end of the set. unfortunately, Runny wasn't able to quite swing things back in their favor.
Yeah, got real close at points. I think there were 2 round 5 sets,
yes,
if I remember correctly. So as we take a look here at some of the replays, like we mentioned before, it felt like once Dragunov missed the grab or wasn't able to get to that, it was just wall carry combo after wall carry combo.
Yeah, he was taking them wall to wall. Oh, and we are getting noticed now. The third player has DQ'd. Unfortunately, the first player DQ'd as well, meaning that is our set tonight. But I mean, look at these combos though. What an incredible set to watch. It's so refreshing to see the level of talent that we have in the Shenandoah program. Some talent goes unnoticed. Like you said, you were in CFGC last season, so you probably felt that as a fighting game player. Sometimes you came into the arena, you played, and you know, you were maybe by yourself in that regard, or you had your coaches around you, your players, your staff, but there's none of that online presence. So it's really cool that we're able to get in on nights like this, cast Jaw, see his progression throughout the season, and put some shining light on those players that are those individual sort of gameplay players.
Yeah, and when you play an individual esport like this, all the pressure is on yourself. Mm-hmm. So being able to get on stream, it feels good because when you win, it feels like that was all you.
Yep.
You know, it's a little bit of that ego. Fighting game players,
it'd be like that.
It'd be like that. That's just how it is, and it's exciting. You know, every mistake is on you, but every accomplishment is also on you.
Yeah, it's incredible to see the level of talent that we have. Going into tonight, I genuinely had not seen Ja play before, and that was the thing, right? Like I said, I've watched a lot of fighting games, but I've never seen them play specifically. So I'm pretty impressed by what they were able to show us just in this first week, and I'm really excited, like brimming with joy to follow their progress for the rest of the season.
I am extremely excited there as well because fantastic work. Talked to him before, told me his game plan, executed the game plan, very adaptable throughout. Fantastic play tonight from Kenza.
Yeah, and these replays are just clean as well. Shout out to the prod throwing this together, getting replays for the stream throughout the series.
Just absolutely wonderful pressure from Kenza tonight. Unable, didn't really waver too much. You know, there was a little bit there in the middle where once he got the 3 sets, you know, it wasn't too difficult.
Then it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I can relax a little bit now. I don't need to try too hard. But you also don't, with it being seeding, because I know, if I'm not mistaken, it's Swiss at the beginning of the bracket, and then we get into that double elim. So for the seeding right now, like, you want to go 5-0, right? You want to carry that. You want to have the higher seed, so when the bracket flips, if you're 1 seed, you're going up against the bottom seed. That's an easy first round.
Exactly what you would want. And like I was talking about, once you get that, like, those 2 last sets, they matter. But once you get that 3-0, it kind of feels like there's all that pressure is off your shoulders. Mm-hmm. And I felt like sometimes I would just play better after I had already lost or after I had already won.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Like, sometimes the pressure, like they say, pressure makes diamonds. Mm-hmm. But also sometimes when you don't have that pressure, it's like Goku taking off the leg weights and jumping around, right? You're like, okay, I got this. I can do this. I'm no worries whatsoever. Mm-hmm. But that's Ja taking the 5-0 to start out the season. That's pretty impressive. That's
really impressive. Went out there, did exactly what they said they were going to do, won 5-0.
Yeah, so we're going to have to see how they do next week. Tune in next Wednesday. We have some more action coming to you for Tekken. We also have fall break coming up this upcoming week, so broadcast and some, there might be some changes in the schedule, but this is not all that we have tonight. We do have Rocket League coming up later on the docket, so stay tuned, and we will be back with some Rocket League action a little later.
Shenandoah University is a big little university rising.
With 22 Division III sports teams, over 200 areas of study,
over 300 annual performances, an elite academic esports program,
nationally ranked health professions programs, one of the biggest university presences on Broadway,
immersive AR and VR learning programs,
cybersecurity and computer science programs, and innovative undergrad and graduate programs.
All at a place that cares for you.
Shenandoah University is the big little university rising. Find out more at su.edu/rising.
We have the Esports Arena right here on campus in Winchester, Virginia, and this facility acts as the hub for all esports activity at Shenandoah University. Students are able to use this space not just for competition and practices, but also as a living learning community and a sandbox for them to come and explore and practice and try out things related to and through esports in the gaming industry, so that they're getting that hands-on learning and the skills necessary to help them find a career by the time they graduate. We also have the professional level broadcast production booth, where we do all of our broadcasting and production, from casting of our games that we play right here on campus to working with outside entities to record footage for them as well. In addition to the space that we have here in the Esports Arena is the Esports War Room. Our students get to use that space for studying, but also outside projects. So our students get to use this space for professional development and the academic side of our esports program, which is such a critical component to go with that competitive element that we have. So we combine all of our facilities at Shenandoah University with competition, community, and career preparation. We have over 250 days of programming, and there's something for everybody, and we want you to be part of it.